Welcome everybody. Let's take a look at the stock market. It is July 18th. Okay. The S&P 500 futures, the E-micro 500 futures. Look at this in front of us. My goodness, this thing just keeps going down. For those of you who haven't watched my previous video, go look in the description of this video and you'll see the links where I predicted the stock market was going to pull back. I did that all the way back on July 6th, I think it was. On July 1st, I noticed there was going to be a pullback, strong indicators. I looked at sector data as well as some custom algorithms that I use that I've created to help determine the market was going to pull back. And sure enough, it has. You look to the right here on the screen, you'll see I'm short 5 contracts on the E-micro S&P 500's contracts. And you can see I'm up $676 on these 5 contracts. I have, of course, as you see in the middle of the screen there, a +5 trailing stop. And I'm trailing by $10 or 10 points. So every time the market goes lower, my trailing stop will trail behind it by 10 points. So as a market goes down, my short positions become more and more profitable. If it does happen to come back up 10 points and hit my trailing stop, fine. I've locked in my profits. I close the position. Happy camper. I'm not going to complain. This is how we do it, folks, okay? So looking in front of us, what do I think is going to happen? Well, you'll see some big red curves there at the bottom. Big, like half circles in red. Those are cycles. So I'm also, among many of the strategies I use or methods I use to determine what's going to go on in the marketplace, this could apply to futures like I'm doing it here. It could apply to stock as well. Okay. I look at sector strength a lot. I use a lot of data from sectors to determine which sectors are the strongest, which sectors are the weakest. Right now, almost all the sectors are weak. There are 11 sectors and approximately 45 subsectors that I follow. And out of the 45 subsectors, 42 of them are all showing negative. If that isn't everything you need to know about the stock market pulling back, I don't know what is. In addition to that, we got cycle analysis, and it looks like this cycle is due for a bottom around July 22nd, though it could go a little shorter or a little longer. This is Sunday night, July 18th. You'll notice in the upper left-hand part of the screen it says July 19th, and that's because the futures market opens Sunday night, but the trading date will be for Monday. Yeah, I know that's the way they do it. Futures trade basically 5 days a week, 23 hours a day. So you have access to the futures and commodity markets a lot more than you would with the stock market. Now the S&P 500 futures, believe it or not, actually really lead the S&P 500. It isn't the SPY or the SPX or any other index. Okay? The futures, guys and gals, is what really leads the S&P 500. That drives the marketplace. Just most people don't know that. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to continue to hold these 5 positions. I don't have to worry about anything at this point. With a trailing stop, guys and gals, once your position has turned profitable significantly enough, you can put in your trailing stop. You know, you'll have to decide for yourself how wide of a trailing stop you want it to be. For me, it's 10 points. Some people might want it a little tighter if they have smaller accounts. Okay. The thing about trailing stops in that particular order strategy is there's going to be that little period of time usually where you're waiting for the positions or position you're holding, in my case, 5 contracts, shorted 5 contracts. There's going to be that little period of time where you're waiting for the position to become, significantly profitable or decently profitable before you put in your trailing stop. So that little time in there can get it can be a little tense. Now, there are other things you could do. You could put stop losses in place. You could put a trailing stop in anyway, and that will be your stop loss. And basically, in effect, I believe that's doable. You could put your trailing stop in there, and it'll basically prevent you from having any big losses. So it's a strategy that works well. And you can see for right now, it's working really well for me. Well, this is Sunday night. The market just opened, like I think about 2 hours ago. I'm in Central Standard Time here in Texas, the greatest state in the United States of America. That's right, I said it. So I think this is going to continue to pull. The market's going to continue to go down. You see the high there of 4384.5. I think, guys and gals, we're going to hit at least 100 points, 4284. And it could be even much more significant than that. It could be 2, 3, 4, 500 points. I don't really know. I'm not going to say that I know. You can draw your Fibonacci retracements if you want to, what everybody does, and do all that stuff. That's fine if you want to do that. I just look at sector strength or weakness to help me decide where I'm going to be focusing my efforts, whether that's long or short. If it's a long positions, I'm probably trading stock. Right? If the market's strong, I'm trading stock. If the market is weak, I'm probably trading futures. And why is that? Because it's really difficult to short stock, whether you're using option strategies or straight out shorting stock. All these strategies and option strategies, yeah, they have their place. I'm not going to knock them, but they're way more complex, and you don't normally make as much profit off of them as you would trading futures, in my opinion. That's my experience. I've traded everything. I've traded stock, long and short. I've traded options, long, short strategies. I've traded Forex. I've traded futures. I've traded corporate bonds. Heck, when I was a young little whippersnapper, I traded savings bonds, if you want to call that trading. But yeah, I bought savings bonds. For years I did that. And then whenever they matured, 15, 20, 30 years later, whatever they were, I went and traded them in and redeemed them, got my money back, plus all the interest. Okay? So I've traded just about everything. So the stock market, whether you're trading stock or ETFs, it's really not very conducive to retail traders whenever the market's going down. You ever notice that? Most retail traders don't do well when the market's going down. Everybody's upset and everybody's mad. The market's going down. Market's going down. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, that's because the stock market is really geared for only one-way directional trading. If you're trading stock, up. And most people are not comfortable trading options. They might not even have a margin account. And if they do, they don't really know how to navigate the whole option strategy, because, to be honest with you, I don't find option trading to be very efficient. It's just, it's just not nearly as efficient, as nearly as profitable as straight up futures trading. With futures trading, it's simple. It's directional. I can trade long or short. Makes no difference commission-wise. There isn't any additional leverage in either direction. It's the same awesome, low margin requirement, high leverage. Futures, when markets are going down, is my choice for profitability. Right? I choose to do that. Now, I don't give financial advice, guys and gals, so I'm just sharing with you today what I do. You decide for yourself what's best for you. You can see here I'm up 676 on this position. And I'm just looking at the market now because it's about the same, 651. My trailing stop has moved to 4313, and right now we're at 4307. So that would be about 5 or 6 points of cushion, so to speak, or trailing left. And I think a lot of people just want to close with this. Well, before I close, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? You can see that I called the market that it was going to pull back. I did it in 2020. I did it again in 2021. And no, I'm not patting myself on the back and to have a big ego. I'm just saying, obviously, I'm doing something right. So go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, click that notification bell, and give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. So I think a lot of people, especially retail traders, the reason, because I've been through it, I've had to learn along the way, just like a lot of people, okay? And I've gone through my ups and downs and my my losses the same as most people have. But one of the things I had to understand was a small profit is better than any loss. You know. And I think people are always trying to hit the home run, you know, or they don't put stop losses in place, or they don't put trailing stops, and they just kind of leave their position open, hoping it'll do well, hoping it'll do well. That is a recipe for disappointment. Don't do that to yourself, okay? Don't do that to yourself. If you have a stock that you're holding that you want to hold for a long time, fine, hold it. If you have a lot of confidence in it, even when the market's going down, don't get rid of it. Hold it, especially if you got that stock at a really good value. Okay. So this is my take on the stock market, guys and gals. I do think it's going to continue to pull back. How much? Like I said, 100 to 500 points. It could be more. Either way, at this point, I'm a happy camper. I've already locked in profits. If the market continues to go down, my trailing stop's going to continue to trail behind by 10 points, locking in even more profits. If it comes up and smacks into my stop, fine. It closes the position. I'm profitable. Good to go. And guys and gals, in my opinion, that's the way to trade the market. Okay? Take your profits, put in your trailing stops, protect your profits. Okay? And just looking at technical data alone is not enough. Okay? You have to look at where the money's flowing. And also I use other means to help determine. I look at sector data to see what are the sectors doing. If there's a lot of weakness across a lot of the sectors, I know something's up. The market's probably going to pull back. In addition to that, like I said, I look at cycle analysis. If you don't know cycle analysis, just Google it. You'll probably find out. Steve Miller, the biggest cycle analysis guy out there. He's got a subscription service. I don't subscribe to his service, but he does great work. But I don't rely on just that. It's just one of the many tools in my toolbox, okay? So there you go, guys and gals. Hope you really enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you all again real soon next time.